Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 13 of Tank Talk. I am James Relic Star. With me today is Randall Ruukil Holcomb. Holcomb? Holcomb? Holcomb. Oh, I nailed it. And of course, as usual, we have, Kirill Soviet Bondar joining us. Yeah. But Ruukil's here! 4th of July! Woo! Yeah! So thanks very much, Ruukil, for joining us from the Wargaming League North America. You're in the office right now. Thank God we don't see those terrible games behind you anymore. So that's good. That's good. Today we got a few things going on. It's a pretty light episode again, other than obviously having the awesome Ruukil here. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. First up, we'll just take a little look at general news. We have the 4th of July special for this weekend going on, so all kinds of big stuff for us. Let me go ahead and switch over to what is going on right now. So as you can see, we have times 5 going on right now. Love those times 5 weekends, other than some of the silly people. Oh, really? Oh, I know. Hold on. You can't do a mic test with them. Hold on, hold on. Rookill's singing right now, but unfortunately none of you can hear this. There we go. Now everybody should be able to hear you.
Can they hear me?
Stream, can you hear the
Stream,
Ruukil?
mi vida. Can you hear me?
Can you hear the Soviet? Anybody?
Oh, 1, 2, 3. Mic test.
Yay!
Yeah, we're good.
Now that
Let's
we
do
had
this.
that awesome intro with just me talking, so
Hmm.
yeah, that was good stuff. At least I got to see Soviet's angry face when I was making fun of him, so that makes it all worth it. Let's go ahead and continue with what I was saying, where we have the times 5 special going on right now. Double crew, or is it double crew? It's times 3 XP for
Yep.
crews on the tier 10s, times 2 on tier 9s, 100% increased credit on tier 5s and 6s. They have the medal hunt for the top gun for extra experience, so all kinds of stuff going on this weekend. The real big important one that you don't get as often is the credit discount on equipment. So buy your equipment now, and yeah, so all kinds of good stuff. Definitely get some tanking in here.
Yep. I got the potluck done earlier today. That was pretty
Ooh.
nice. Pretty sweet deal.
Yeah, I still need to go and do that myself. We have this for like 4 or 5 days, so that's a pretty good bonus over those 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, I definitely like the crew reset and the crew retraining for skills.
Hmm.
Good time to actually reset your crew skills based on the camo findings that we had in the previous episode. Uh,
Yes.
Pretty much heavy tanks, if you have camo on them, might as well. It's up to you, but might as well start getting rid of that. I don't think 16, 20 meters is worth it right now,
No.
for heavy tanks. So.
Yeah.
Well, it
Go ahead, Ru.
yeah. Well, with the way camo feels like it's working these days, I mean, seems like camo's always worth it. So, I mean,
Well, these days, you mean in the last week?
yeah.
Um, I do like that they have the crew retraining at the same time that they have like a special tier 10 special. Because I know, like us, we have all of our good crews in our tier 8s, so that at least gives us an opportunity to fairly cheaply put them in to tier 10s and be able to grind that way. So that's kind of nice that they're at least seems like there's some forethought in what bonuses they're having at the same time for specials like this. So yeah, you can expect us to probably be streaming quite a bit now for the next few days because I'm sure we're going to grind out probably most of our tier 8s and all that. At least get our times 5s done. So yeah, right, Soviet streaming.
Yeah, I'll probably actually be throwing my crew into tier 10s for this event because that 5 times is very nice and worth it.
Yeah.
Worth
It's a
it
lot of
for,
gold to spend. All the
uh,
same.
Eh.
a lot of gold
Have
to
you not
spend.
seen our replays?
Oh yeah, I forgot how much gold you guys have. You guys are swimming in it, aren't you?
Relics converted it all to credits, but
Did you make a video? You should have made a video.
No. See, there's this ongoing joke where I convert everything to credits because in the Nvidia tournament, I accidentally put in to convert 20,000 gold to credits. Instead, I put 200,000 gold. So my Nvidia account basically has no gold on it right now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was a bundle that I was looking at, and I was just to see what they were like, and it was like the jackpot bundle and the what is it? The big bucks, big something, big yeah, big bucks. Those were like super efficient, so you could get like 5K gold and 5 million credits for like $50,
Hmm.
and I was like, that's better than just buying straight gold.
And then you spend it all
Well,
exceptionally quickly.
oh, definitely.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into tournaments. So first of all, this is Rue's big place. We have the Wargaming League North America starting up next week, next Thursday, right? I believe
Uh, on the 11th, that is Thursday. Yeah,
that is a Thursday.
yeah. Looking over at my calendar over here.
So you excited? You know, you got some more
Uh,
casting to come up, big
oh yeah,
teams.
oh yeah. I'm looking forward to being able to do this because during the qualifiers it was kind of rough for me because it's my first time casting.
Hmm.
Well, really casting, and then I had to get used to it because being on a set, you're like in a suit, getting all ready to go, and then I kept up. A lot of the teams it was really easy and fun to cast, but other
Hmm.
teams it was when it slows down and such. When you get bothered by what they're doing,
Hmm.
it's hard to say nice things.
And you got to do all that filler, and you're like, they're still sitting in that one spot. Let's
They
talk about what they
it's
could
like
do.
yeah, it's like well they should be doing this right now, but of course they have decided that since they have spotted all of the enemy tanks, that they're just going to sit there and wait for the
Santa.
next Russian winter
That works.
mm,
Let's see.
because you can't attack.
And I gotta say, I loved like you could really see the progression for you. That first day, you seemed like you were just so unbelievably nervous, it being your first one on there, and then the
Yeah.
second day you were like nailing it, like you were on
I
top of it all. It was awesome.
it was I didn't get as much practice as the guys were hoping to get me to get used to casting. It was just up until the few days before it was like, all right, we're gonna get you ready, we're gonna get you ready, and then a little practice, but not as much as I was comfortable with. And then when I finally got on set, it's a lot easier. I was nervous the first day, but it's much easier after a little while. And the guys are really nice and helpful and such. So
Yeah,
it's
well, I gotta say your guys' production has been really good. The weeks that we had, even through the qualifiers, even through some of the kind of boring games, I thought it all looked really nice. You guys did a great job trying to carry through it. So yeah, I'm very impressed with you guys. Good, clap to you guys. Clap to you guys.
thank you. I appreciate it.
So
I
And
so
appreciate lots of CC. So keep it coming because I
yeah,
want to get better at this.
yeah, definitely. So Soviets, what do you think? Wargaming League North America starting up for us. This is big for Team Fulcrum. What are your thoughts on it?
I can't wait, man, because it's kind of something that we've been promised since like I think WCG. We heard some rumors back then. Then of course when the actual Major League Series started up, it was kind of like, oh man, kind of a tiny bit of a disappointment that some of the plans fell through that were there in the works.
Hmm.
South by Southwest kind of gave us like that boost, like that adrenaline rush, and then all of a sudden, we kind of pretty much found out that well, Major League first season is going to be kind of a well, not as grand as this.
Hmm.
This is finally happening. I'm so glad that you guys are running it. WGLNA is going to be just awesome. The production, watching the qualifiers, I was itching to play. I was like, man, can't wait. Can't wait. So I actually stopped watching some of the qualifiers just because I wanted to,
So
stay away
jealous.
from itching to play.
Yeah.
So I mean, for Fulcrum, I think all of our players are ready. We have been taking it very serious. We're gonna try and push it to another level here, completely. I think
Hmm.
we're in really good shape, relatively speaking, and of course our sites more or less concentrate on Europe and Russian play right now, especially because that's the only content we can see and study from and see what mistakes they make and what mistakes they don't make to make sure that we're not making those. So
Especially with 8.6, there's a lot that's changed. So
So much
yes,
has changed. You can't get away with so many things now.
hmm.
It's I, Either it's gonna make you guys have to do so much more, or it'll enable you, or I feel like you'll all have to go back a few steps to to work your way back to where you were or something. I'm not sure where it's gonna put all the teams.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna, I think, change the positions that a lot of these teams are in coming out of the major leagues and even in the qualifiers, just with how drastic it's changed. I mean, artillery essentially not being used in any match for anything. I mean, that's huge on how you approach steps and Prokhorovka and all those. So
Yeah. I'm
it'll
just
be.
wondering if you'll be able to figure out which arty is best and just bring that arty or whatever new is best arty there is and just wail on people because it's arty's still good and it's accurate now in a different way.
Yeah, I feel that it's still good in like public matches, but the more we play it in practices, just the more of a liability it seems on being able to change the directions of your targets. Like I'm still able to hit things. It's just um, I guess not as
I don't.
reliably. Hey,
Is it
I was still
price?
hitting plenty Soviet.
Is it a
On
price
some.
performance thing?
Plenty of houses.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you're looking at um, where you're looking at the potential that I can do or the potential that another tier 8 can do, and it's kind of swung more in the favor of a tier 8 another tier 8 tank being more useful at this point, since it's just not as reliable to move around. And unfortunately, one of my favorite things in a lot of this has been the low tier artillery in those, and that's like totally gone. No low tier artillery anymore. So it'll be interesting to see. Maybe it could be for the better, with seeing less of that. And I'm sure we'll see some kind of changes in the future to artillery to make it more competitive. The other big downside, and I'm sure this affects you quite a bit, is scouting's going to have a pretty big hit on that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
you don't have artillery running around. You don't have scouts to watch. That's your
that
babies.
that and camo.
Yeah.
I mean, accuracy improvements. I can't get away with some things that I could get away with.
Hmm.
Spotting feels more even as far as distance. I mean, I used to be able to, go right outside, hit my max range, and like skirt right along there, catch some heavies. But you got to go in a little more sometimes now.
Hmm.
I feel like, and it's really gotten me killed in a few situations where I've tried to get to a bush passive spot, but then you find out, oh no, that bush isn't good enough
Yeah.
because something,
Right.
or it feels like bushes don't quite work as
Right.
intended. You guys have you
Well,
guys seen any of that?
they were
'Cause
lowered by a factor of 2 or 3, so
yeah,
the camo value that they bring is no longer the same.
yeah,
Um, and of course, the distances in general have increased by about, well, as the patch notes said, 20%. We found out it actually depends on class of the vehicle. The heavier tanks are the worst, and of course, it degrades there. So mediums a little bit better. Lights are the best, and TDs are right there in between. So.
Hmm.
Um,
it just
uh, but going back to the 8.6 in tournament play, I think what you'll see is we'll see a little bit more. There'll be, as you said, Rue, it's going to be two opposites. Some teams will go and start camping a lot more because they're just not used to the gameplay, while the other teams that know how to approach it will probably be more aggressive, because the game in general got a lot faster. You don't have to aim as carefully anymore. You can
Hmm.
shoot better. You can put out decent damage and more efficiently, and of course, no artillery. Artillery kind of slows down the game. At the same time, artillery was used to break camps, so it's a double-edged sword, I guess. If a team really camps and really wants to camp, let's say, I don't know, brings, I don't know, 5 IS-3s on Ensk and really just turtles up, that's going to be tough. But we'll see. We'll see
yeah.
what the league will bring. And that's why
Hmm.
the sooner it starts, the better. And only 1 week remains.
Yep. Good times, good times. Let's go ahead and swing over to the other big tournaments that are going right now. So we have NVIDIA. So we have some more updates on that. Let me bring up the list, and we'll take a look at what's changed over the last week from the losers bracket. So you can see Simplistic moving forward on the top here. So they're going to be facing off against Fates Chosen from the previous round's winner bracket. And you can see that, surprisingly, Kung Fu gave a forfeit on that, too. I'm really surprised there was a forfeit that deep into the tournament at this point, even though it's in the losers bracket. But
Mm.
I think that's pretty dang surprising. And then we have in the bottom bracket here, we have Bernal Empires knocking out River of Blood. Really surprised about that. River of Blood's been doing, I think, pretty good through everything. Um, so I'm curious to see what exactly happened during that match. And then so we have next coming up, I believe, next week on, is it the 13th?
11th
Is
We've
it?
got a. There's a battle on the 8th, isn't there?
on the 8th. Yep,
Losers
Monday.
bracket.
Oh wait, I'm looking
Right.
at it right here. Hey, look, Losers Bracket
Yeah.
round 6 on the 8th. So on the 8th, then we have Fates Chosen versus Simplistic, and then Simp versus Bernal Empires, and then on the 11th, so
We'll
that's
find out
hopefully that
who we're
doesn't,
facing.
yeah, hopefully that doesn't bounce up against Wargaming League North America there. But well,
Yeah.
but my guess right now is we're either gonna have Simp versus Simplistic or Fates Chosen. I'm not gonna say that Bernal Empires can't do it, but that's kind of my guess is we might have a Simp for Simp going on at
Well,
the
Well,
end
at
of
the
that.
same time,
Calling it
look, Burn All Empires did beat out River of Blood, which is a serious team. So who
Mhm.
knows?
Yeah,
Simp might get a surprise there in the lower bracket there.
yeah, and they could have a handle on 8.6, and maybe they've got a good card up their sleeve. And then so I believe the finals of that are going to be on the 13th, where we'll see exactly who ends up going to the big international conference. So that'll be pretty big. And I think that's going to be falling in August too. So we'll have August is going to be a really big month. We'll have Wargaming League North America finals in August, which was announced to be in at the Treasure Island Hotel, right?
Yeah, Treasure Island.
And then we'll have the NVIDIA finals sometime during that same month. I can't say any more about it, but it's definitely going to be in August. So that's going to be a really big month for esports. A couple of really big finals. Um, yeah. So Treasure Island, that's going to be pretty cool for Wargaming League North America. I forgot to even mention that announcement came out. Um, so I'll be very interested to see do you know if is it just World of Tanks that's going to be there, or is this combined with anything else? Is this like a
Gosh. As far as I know, this is just us.
Huh.
So we're bringing you guys out, have a party, can
yeah?
throw your money away, win some money, and then yeah,
And then have good times, plenty of
Have
good
good
times.
I know I'll be having a good time because it's Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, next week's going to be big. So like I said, we'll have the big NVIDIA finals. We'll have Wargaming League North America starting up. And then David and myself will start actually providing videos for the NVIDIA stuff. I believe the week right after the finals, or that Sunday right after the finals. So we'll start broadcasting some of our casts that we've been working very heavily on. That'll hopefully turn out pretty good. And there's supposed to be some prizes and stuff we're giving away from NVIDIA. I'm still waiting on exact details on the nature of all that, but so definitely keep an eye out for all that. Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. We were going to talk a little bit about Rush just got signed by Na'Vi. Na'Vi, who is a very well-known team in Dota 2, and you said I think you said Counter Strike was the other one they're really big.
Yeah, they have a
I know them in Dota
Counter-Strike
2.
team.
So that's pretty big. That's another really big team signed. Who was the other one that? There's another big team that was signed to some other Dota 2 famous team.
Mm.
It was like
Was
it was a few
was
weeks ago. I can't
Was
remember.
Graw signed to something? I think Graw was signed. Was that one of the Graw teams?
I can't quite remember.
Team, but they just got signed by a sponsor. I don't think it was anything.
Oh, okay. Not a team. Okay.
Yeah, I thought there was another big gaming team that signed another World of Tanks team. Yeah, that's pretty big. I mean, you can see that obviously the sport's getting big enough that some of these big name teams are getting onto these big name sponsored teams. So that's pretty big, and hopefully that'll start leaking over our way. Come a little bit to
Maybe.
North America, maybe in a while.
Maybe.
So yeah, that's pretty big. Anybody else with any comments on that?
I just thought it was pretty cool because
You said you wanted to
You
bring
know.
it up.
I thought maybe it was something interesting because maybe a Soviet had maybe he knew something, but I don't know because
Oh, see, that's your problem right there. Assuming that Soviet knows something.
oh yeah, I mean he's the one with all the connections into the Russian community.
Yeah.
Well, it was a long time coming. They actually knew about the fact that they're going to be signing with that team for a while, but because of the rules of Wargaming League season, They couldn't change the name or anything like that
Mm.
mid-season. So a lot of these teams, and as you saw, a lot of these teams are blowing up in terms of rosters and whatnot. New Star, for example, lost a lot of their key players to Virtus Pro, going to Europe. There's a rumor that Navi, well, former Rush, is going to be going to Europe as well. So Europe might be the hottest ticket in town in terms of competition
Do you have any
uh,
idea why?
come
I
next
mean,
season.
that's two Russian teams now that are moving into the European scene. Is it just
Um, just seems like it's better marketing there. That's what I would assume. Better sponsors prefer Europe market over
hmm,
Eastern Europe would be my guess. Uh, because otherwise, I mean, Russia is just as as good for World of Tanks, right?
right?
If not better. But in terms of marketing, I think Europe presents better opportunity.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah. I'm sure they're going to do extremely well in the European leagues. So that'll be interesting to see like what kind of effect overall they have on that.
Yeah.
Do they have to move to Europe, or are they just playing on that server?
No, it's just the same.
Okay.
Just like other teams are doing it. Team Dignitas, I think, is what you were talking about earlier,
Yes,
Relics.
Team Dignitas. Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
and that was former Synergy, I believe, that signed with Team Dignitas, and they are doing quite well. Uh, I think
cause
they won, right? So they
yeah.
they took first place in DreamHack. So perhaps next DreamHack or whatever event is going to be for the next final, season two, is going to be quite different in terms of the teams that are represented and who is going to come out on top.
Yep. Cool. Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, which is 8.7 just came out on the test server. I was able to get onto it quite a bit this morning and mess around. So I've got a couple things we'll go over with that. Have either of you been able to mess around on the test server yet?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah, I've barely gotten to get comfortable with 8.6 yet. So
All
you're gonna have to tell me what
right.
even the patch notes are, because I know almost nothing
Okay.
about
Okay.
8.7.
There's actually not a lot of like like changes to different things. The main things that they have going on right now is going to be a small addition to small big addition to the Russian tree, which is your baby, the T50-2, is going bye bye, and he's being replaced by a fatter baby, the MT-25, which I've got a picture of. Let me grab it real quick here.
I think I'd read something about that on For the Record, but I was something made me hope somewhere
Yeah,
deep down.
it's definitely gone. I got to drive around a little bit. You can see it's definitely got a way bigger frame than what the T50-2 had.
Mm.
Um, and it was still fairly fast, but it definitely does not have that mobility that the T50-2 has. So it's going to be a really big change there for scouts, and uh, I'm not sure what's going to be the best scout for you guys now. So it'll be interesting when 8.7 hits, because that's going to be another big change for anybody that was running the 50-2 pretty consistently, like we were.
Yeah, the TAC 2 was actually evolving in its play. I saw the Russians bring both the autoloader and the 57.
Hmm.
So it was like a choice between those sometimes, which was a cool thing to see, because the autoloader wasn't actually a viable gun when you weren't up against other light tanks. Like, it was great for other light tanks if you're fighting other lights and you're always zooming around. And
Hmm.
with the new accuracy, I was pretty sure it was going to really take off, because all shots were going to go way towards the middle. But
Right.
but now, unless that tank can prove to be really viable.
Yeah, and I believe it's got the same cannons on it, but it's that the maneuverability is going to be the big thing, because it can't turn on a dime like the 50-2. So it'll be interesting to see what people can make out of that. Um, I also the other big thing addition they have, they didn't bring in the 112 yet. I'm assuming that they're making some changes to that after that video that was put out for the 112 that made it just look like the most amazing tank ever, like it was going to replace the IS-3 and the 110. It was so good. Um, but they did bring in another premium tank, which is the E-25, which I took a video of because I think this is a very funny TD. Let me go ahead and run that video for everybody here. So just in a match, this is on the test server, and as you can see, there's like tons of E-25s in this game. But this thing like gets up to 50 kmh in like a few seconds. This thing is so fast. So you can see us just jetting along. Um, The maneuverability on it is really good. You can see it's turning on a dime there. It fires crazy fast. This is like a few seconds between shots. It's only 150 damage. It's a tier 7 premium tank, so that's not too bad there considering it's going to get preferential treatment. It has extreme accuracy. I barely needed to take any time to shoot at this guy. Um, so I don't know. It's 7,000 gold. It seems like it'll be a pretty fun premium to drive around in, unless there's like tons of these things on. But overall, it seems like it's a pretty good premium. I don't really see any use for it outside of this, but yeah, it was just a pretty fun, extremely fast tank destroyer to play.
Hey,
So
Relics.
go ahead.
Looks like your team lost.
Yeah, I think my team did lose.
Yeah. Yeah, you know why?
Well,
Because you rushed into the enemy base without killing anybody.
hey, I killed like 3 people there, including artillery. Come on,
Because
Oh.
Artie's still viable, right?
four people. Yeah, you're right. It wasn't S51. It wasn't like it's gonna hit anything.
Yeah.
That was kind of interesting too. They had all the E25s just rush the hill, so there's like 15 E25s going up there. Um, so that's that edition there with the premium tank. And then the other edition that they have, which is the big edition, I guess, is British artillery has been added. So they have a full tree for British artillery. Just looking over the numbers, which I suggest going to the FTR blog, and you can see all the stats for all the numbers or anything, or jumping on the test server. But there is really nothing impressive about any of the artillery pieces. I ran through probably 5 or 6 of them, and it was just they're pretty low damage with fast firing. But there's no penetration or anything. You're not going to really be able to do too much with them. The one funny thing was the tier 10 artillery right now, and I don't know if this is a bug or not, but it has its accuracy is 1.1.
What?
So
It-
you can just put shots.
It's 1.1.
How big?
It's got to be a visual bug. Because when I did it, it was still like 2 to 3 times the size of a tank. But yeah, it's listed as 1.1 and everything, and it actually seemed like it was pretty small. But overall, the artillery was pretty terrible, other than having crazy accuracy. So it'll be interesting to see if anything comes out of those or any balance changes. But I mean, nothing really coming with 8.7 with at least the British artillery that anybody's gonna really care about. So big change. 8.7 is Ruukil's scout is gone, is dead. Moment of silence for the dead scout.
Looks like also a new map,
Um,
Belogorsk 10, and Highway and Port getting reworked for some new rendering engine.
yeah,
So some minor changes for the maps.
nothing big there. I thought 8.7 was supposed to bring like a big North American tank changes. I had heard rumors about there was supposed to be some kind of big balancing changes there, so maybe we'll get something more later.
Probably one of those when it's done kind of things. Project didn't finish up, so they're throwing it back because we all know that happens a lot with the patches.
Yeah.
You know, some feature or tank. The TAC 2 replacement was supposed to come a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
Unfortunately, Redshire is still in the game. Not being removed in this patch.
Yes, we all wish that Redshire would just disappear
a little bit.
in a horrible flame. Horrible, horrible flame.
I have discovered some things about Redshire though that have made it so I can literally AFK and still win. I'm
That
not going to
works.
reveal my secrets unless you watch me when I stream, but there's a secret spot, and it is awesome.
So you're saying you're a cheater and
No,
you should get
no,
reported.
it's not an exploit.
Reported.
It's just a really good spot, and it always wins if I can get into it.
Yeah.
Always.
You have to teach Soviet that,
Mm-mm.
so he'll cry less.
No, he just goes forward.
Is there any other direction?
I drive. You die. All right, let's go ahead and get off 8.7 test. Not a lot going on there. And let's talk a little bit about the Roo. We'll go to that next. The Roo. Mr.
The Roo.
Ruukil. So, yeah, so it's been, what, a month or two that you've been working for Wargaming League North America, right?
I've been here just over a month now.
Just over a
Jeez.
month. Wow.
Yeah.
So, you were arguably one of the best scouts in the game, right? Beforehand?
Thank you. I'll still say I'm arguably pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm not as much practice, but I mean, I'm still staying sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's it been for you? You were a player just like all of us before,
Mm.
and now you're working for Wargaming League North America. How's that transition been for you?
It
Tell us the
was.
story,
I
the
will
whole
tell you.
story.
I will tell you a story. Okay, so I get email from Canadian, and then there it's an email about we'd like to talk to you. I get. I obviously kind of pick up on what it is. They want me to come cast, so I'm like, I think I could go do that. And summer's just starting, so there was a lot of time there. And I said, yes, I will come out and cast. And then they said, yes, come out and cast. And so they we figured everything out. They moved me out here. I'm living with Mr. Bitter in the Bitter House, and
Nice.
yeah, so that is a cool place to live. It's a big gaming house kind of set up there,
Oh, nice.
and there's actually Frodan and Rotterdam live there as well. So
Oh,
it is the lot of
that
us,
sounds like a party.
all in one bed,
One bed, nice,
one bed.
nice.
hmm it's been pretty cool. I mean, I've come out here and I went to E3, I went to WCS. I've
Mhm.
I've been doing cool stuff out here, and learning to cast was pretty cool. So I'd been doing little things, on the internet, terrible quality videos with amateur level casting. It's all it was a stream and me playing replays. But
Yeah.
someone must have tipped them off that I wanted to do this. So
Yeah, I don't know who that would be
yeah,
that would have
who
tipped them off that
who would
you
have
would be
given
good at this. I'm not sure who it
I
who it could have
who
been
it's a mystery.
that
We'll never know.
we'll never know. We'll never
Yeah,
know.
never know.
That person should definitely get like a couple extra beers or something in Vegas or
Yeah,
something, you know.
if I were to ever find out who that person was, I would possibly buy them a drink or two or three or six.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a pretty cool experience. I mean, I don't think I can't show you the room, but it is a pretty cool work environment, and the set is nice. It's over there in the other room, and
Mhm.
we've got a really cool setup here. I think Nagatron and was it Mac and Fedge have all seen that, so
Mhm.
it's been a very cool experience to move out here and start casting. It's a lot of fun and it's good work.
What have you thought of doing the casting and stuff like that? How's
Uh,
that experience been?
it it was quite something to get used to because I had very little public speaking experience, so it was a matter of them getting me trained, and it unfortunately I didn't get quite as much training, so first day was all shaky, and then it started to get better and better and better, and I'm teaching the guys in the office how to play on a higher level and getting them there as quickly as we can because they're smart. They're all like good, SC2 players. So
Mhm.
they're not bad gamers overall. Generally, if they try, they're going to be good at a video game,
Yeah.
and they definitely are taking off. I
De-
mean,
Definitely work more on that clutch guy because he's pretty terrible.
yeah,
I'm
Clutch
just
sits
saying.
over there, so
Okay.
I don't get to work on him as much. But when I turn around, it'll be like Bitter, and I'll be like, Bitter,
What are you doing?
what are you doing? Or it'll be like, Root, what am I doing? And I'm like, you're doing this wrong. Do this right. And stuff like that. And like
And then you throw
dance.
the chair at them.
I don't want to throw my chair because this is the only chair without arms, and I hate chairs with arms.
Oh,
Oh,
I can't throw this one; it might
so
break.
so throw somebody else's chair.
Yeah, yeah, I'll throw that.
keyboard.
Or throw Terry the intern's chair.
There you go. There you go. Interns don't need chairs. They should be standing anyways.
They should be abused constantly.
Exactly. Cool. Well, I'm really glad you got the job. I think you've been doing a fantastic job. What do you think, Soviet?
I mean, we saw it in the first day. Just right off the gate, man, you're improving every 20 minutes. You're just getting better and better and better. And now it's a completely different level. And especially with the season starting up, I think you're in great shape, man. And it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to watch all of the streams. And I'm sure you know all of our Fulcrum guys will be watching. So we'll be keeping an eye
Oh yeah.
and critiquing anything we see. But
Yeah.
so
Thank
far, just awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, and good job on not standing us up today, because I really thought you were gonna stand us up today. So
No.
I was gonna play this through the entire episode in place
Oh,
of your picture.
I just
For some reason, it goes in slow motion, but it should pop up so to
There
where
it
you could
is.
see it. There you go.
Yeah, that was an
Yeah.
interesting evening. They had an open bar,
Yeah.
so
So it was good times. It was good
so
times.
it was good times. Yeah.
You know what? In slow motion, it's even better.
Isn't it? It's like,
What
oh,
you don't see is
yeah.
I got my
Mm,
drink right there in my right hand, and I'm like, I
mm.
can't do anything with my drink. Gotta try and yeah, got moves.
Very
So
nice.
by the time I even got upstairs, I was pretty drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were like, go dance, and I was like, it's a good idea, guys.
This is awesome. I should
It's
definitely do
great.
that.
Hmm.
I have that as a gift too, so I'm sure I'll use that in other ways, in more
I've
magical ways.
I've had to learn to embrace that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Wasn't
never
it
know what you
embarrassing
have
the
on a
day they brought it
watch.
up?
When I saw the footage, they called me into the room. They're like, Rue, come look at this. Look what we have. And I was like, you have footage of that? Oh God. And then I just like imagined there's worse stuff than that.
Yeah.
They didn't have any of that, luckily.
Now I gotta wonder is like, did they have that whole thing like pre-planned to watch that, or was it
Uh,
just spontaneous?
when they found it, they were like, I'll throw this up.
Yeah.
So that was kind of what it was, because there was a lot of footage from E3 and the Wargaming Party. So yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So they would have had stuff recorded anyways.
Hmm.
Very
They
nice.
yeah, they had a guy with the camera there the whole time running around, filming everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything.
What'd you think of E3? That was your first E3, right?
That was my first E3, and it was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. The Wargaming booth was really really loud, and there were, if you never saw, if you weren't there, there were just rows. There was one side was all World of Tanks, the other was warplanes, and then they had the section for World of Tanks on the Xbox, and that was kind of cool because it was like, oh, I'm going to be one of the first people to get to play this.
Hmm.
So I sat down and I started playing. I was like, oh crap, I haven't played with a joystick
A
on an Xbox
console.
controller in
Yeah.
so long. I mean, I was having trouble. I was like, oh yeah, it's inverted like this, and yeah. So it took some getting used to, and I embarrassed myself a few times trying to do it while we were being captured. But I did have one good game where I was in a Stewart and I ran around. And I just pwned everyone. I got like 4 or 5 kills or something. Completely carried the game, and
Nice.
it was good. Like when I finally had that one, it was like, why didn't I play scouts this whole time?
Did you get your hands on World of Warships while you were there at all?
Oh,
They let you?
I did see some World of Warship stuff, but of course I can't talk about it.
You can't talk about it, but is it
Yeah.
like is it thumbs uppy or
Oh, it's thumbs
thumbs
uppy. Oh,
downy? Okay.
it's thumbs uppy. You're gonna like. Me gusta.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get some release dates on that soon or some beta stuff. I'm getting a
Well,
little jealous that I didn't get to
well,
play it at all.
yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's they got good plans, and I'm anticipating it. I almost want to like move to that after tanks or something, or do both. I don't know. 'Cause
Yeah.
warships are super cool.
Well, maybe they'll do, WGLNA for warships too, and you can cast on that as well.
Oh yeah,
There you go.
ship tactics,
Yep, yep.
because those will be so fast.
All
He's
right.
broadsiding.
This is the start of the match, and 5 minutes later, he's turning.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
All right, let's go and jump on to our last discussion, and then we'll do a Q&A afterwards for everybody. So I want to talk a little bit about the new thing. The Russians got this first, but missions is the new big thing. Um, we've had 3 missions now set up here. The first one, what I believe was last week, was for Hat Trick, where if you destroyed 3 or more tanks in a single game, you got a big bonus. The one that's going on right now is First Class, which is if you deal the most damage on your team, then you earn 20% more XP or 30% more credits. And then they also have the daily one that we talked a little bit about earlier, which is if you destroy at least one vehicle of each nation, then you get a whole bundle of consumables. So let's go ahead and start out with you, Soviet, on this one. What do you think about these new daily missions or these new missions overall? Do you think it's a good bonus to the game?
Yeah, great incentive to keep playing the game. I think we've seen the population of the server gradually be more consistent and high. I think I've seen 4 or 5 days in a row that it's been at around 30,000 for the East server. We don't talk about the West. Sorry, the West is it's like Rue and the WGLNA office, and that's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the West server. But I think once again, it's a great incentive to keep playing the game. Definitely a great incentive to make credits. I personally have been enjoying it because it gives me an opportunity to make some credits that I keep losing
Mm-hmm.
somehow, m- mysteriously, and
Running gold all the time.
yeah, running gold all the time. I'll probably be losing more now that the equipment is on sale, but
Mm-hmm.
it's yeah, works. I think one thing that we have to keep an eye on is oversaturation, though. Like inflation, let's say, or too much credits, too much experience.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be a fine balance, and I think the developers know about it because I already read a bunch of threads on the Russian forums. Like one guy made like 17 million credits over a weekend, for example,
Wow.
in uh, uh, in one of the missions that they were doing there on the Russian server. So they'll keep an eye on it, and I think we'll see various things improve as it goes. So great finding, great introduction, and they said that historical battles are not coming this year. So well, this
Oh.
is a good this is a good way around it.
Yeah. What have you thought about it, Ruukil?
My concern first was that it would be encouraging certain kinds of play
Mm-hmm.
that is not good for a team or will help you win. I mean, I didn't want them to be like, oh, you have to get this many kills, and if you get 5 kills and you have to complete other objective in the same game, people will try and do weird things that are.
Mm-hmm.
And if everyone tries to go for the objective and the objective isn't something that's already something you should be doing as a good tanker, it's those are not the kind of objectives I want to see. But the ones where it's like the hat trick and killing one of each nation and getting top damage. I mean, top damage. That's just going to encourage players to play better. I mean, and it's just going to reward people who are already very, very good. So I
Yeah.
like that one. I'm worried about if they bring out one that's weird in some way.
Well,
That's
I like that. I mean, hat trick is well, first class. First of all, is really good. That's the top damage one, and yeah, I agree. That is probably the best one they've done so far. Hat trick is kind of weird because I think we noticed this a couple days ago where it's destroyed 3 or more tanks in a single game, and then you see people waiting.
yeah.
Is somebody else going to get his hit points down enough so I can go ahead and grab my third kill, get that extra? And I think that specific one is bad.
Relics
And
is just jealous that we didn't let him get 3 kills all the time.
I think I
So
stole one of your third kills.
I know
It was
you'll
Oh,
pay for
it
it.
was pretty glorious. It was pretty glorious. I'll say.
That's your
Um,
only achievement.
yeah, and we talked about something similar with this with Clan Wars, which we don't do anymore on Soviet Takes Clan Wars, but who cares? Where you would do the same kind of things where you'd have like monthly missions or daily missions for a clan where it's like you attempt a landing or you take a piece of land or something like that and you get a big bonus of gold for your clan. Hopefully, I think that'd be really cool to see if we expand. What do you think about expanding that kind of idea to Clan Wars or other in-game content?
I don't know. It seems like if you try and introduce something new, half the time the lesser clans will complain about it because it will benefit the big clans in some way. So there's
Mm-hmm.
always that kind of backlash that you can't not hear. And I just I honestly don't know what features are good anymore because when you're trying to feel out to see what people think, you can't get enough positive reaction to anything. So it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to know if people even like it because there are cool ideas out there that just seem to have fallen by the wayside.
Everybody just hates.
Yeah, it's all hate, 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 and but there are cool objectives I'd like to see. The take a landing, hold it for X days would
Mm-hmm.
be one that would be cool because all that does is encourage one of the lesser teams to be a little bit better than everyone else who's landing, and then you're
Yep.
good to go, and you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna get a bunch of gold. So yeah,
Cool.
Yeah, something that encourages competition rather than makes a stalemate or makes the game stale. I think
Exactly.
so.
Cool. Well, hopefully we'll see some more of these missions coming up. More of the daily ones too. I think that'd be really interesting to keep up that daily idea. I like the whole idea of I like once a day I do something big and I get a big bonus for it for working for it. And I think that's a cool way to keep people engaged and looking to do specific things during the game. So hopefully we'll see that continue. I think that was all I had really for topics going on here. Either of you have anything else you want to throw in topic wise that we need to talk about? No.
no,
No.
it's-
Soviet, did you have anything else on camo from last week that you wanted to bring up? Somebody did bring up something about um, crew or ventilation
Vents.
not
Yeah,
affecting it.
no, it actually does affect. So vents do affect. We actually had it for the 269. For those of you that brought it up in the comments. Please rewatch the video, the Tank Talk episode 12. We did one run with the vents and then one run without the vents, and all vents gave was 1 meter, 1 meter difference in spotting, which you know is not much compared, like, if you think about it. So not a big deal. Same with Brothers in Arms gives the same 5% boost, so we're talking similar bonus, 1 meter. If we're gonna give, like, margin of error, of course we're not the developers. We don't have very precise tools, or the, for example, distance. The distance meter or measuring in the game is rather bugged sometimes. Like, you'll be at 276 meters, and then you move back just a tiny bit, and it jumps to 278. It, like, skips over a meter. So it's not as accurate as probably the developers can have it, or perhaps some mods have a more accurate way of measuring distance. But as I said, with the margin of error about plus or minus 3 meters, I think we got pretty good results there, and that gives you an idea about how the camo system works in 8.6.
Yeah.
So
And I know Brothers in Arms. I did some research on that, and I know for a fact that Brother in Arms does work with your crew skills and affecting it. At least with camo. I don't. I think it says like 2 or 3 specific crew skills that it affects. But I would imagine Brothers in Arms functions in the exact same way. I wouldn't think that they would make something like Vents and Brother in Arms work in different ways. This is wargaming programming it, so I'd imagine they use the same rule set,
It's
the
probably
same
just the
code,
exact same thing, just applied differently.
copy
That's all I
paste.
thought.
yeah,
Yeah.
So that's at least what we could find specifically with that. And I think that was everything we had from last week that I wanted to bring up. So let's go to Q&A. First of all, let me give a big thank you for Ruukil for joining us. Obviously, you're a busy guy now with everything, so hopefully we'll have you again coming up. Obviously, we're going to be doing this right before your guys' cast each week, so we'll give you guys some lead in with the 2 people that watch us, which is
Pre-game to the pre-game.
which is
to the
probably
pre-game
us.
show.
yeah.
So let's target Q&A, see if we have any questions going on. Have you seen any questions in there, Soviet? I know you've been looking over.
No, actually, I mean,
don't think
some
there's really
Russian
much.
stuff going on, but
Oh, just when we were having that discussion about your name being the most non-unique name ever, there's a guy named Sovieter 2015 in the chat.
Huh.
See, you are not
see-
you are not a unique butterfly.
relics. If you ever see Soviet SOV13T in some other game,
Okay.
and it's not me, let me know.
Okay.
But otherwise, I've seen plenty of relics everywhere.
Oh, you have not.
Yes, I have.
I have never seen another relics.
Yes, I have. Oh my god.
You're just
go
making
on
that up.
EVE Online, relics. Type in relics, and you'll get like 3,000 variations of your name.
In EVE Online, you'll find a variation of every name 3,000 times.
Not mine.
See?
I'm sure we could find a Ruukil
Go for it.
with one U.
Go for it.
Oh. It's because everyone's like,
You-
that name's stupid.
Question
Exactly.
from Clutch.
Oh.
Clutch is watching us. What kind of segments would you like to see for WGLNA?
Ooh. That's a good question.
Rue, do you have any lead into what Clutch might mean by a segment?
Oh.
Like
Segments. He's talking about
the
awesome
garage?
videos. Yeah, things like the garage. Actually, how have you guys liked the garage?
It's pretty good.
Pretty
Good. The
Yeah.
reference to the IS-3 being the best tank. And Uncle Soviet is the best by far. Of course, T-32 has no cons at all.
Exactly.
So
No cons.
Oh, you know,
no cons. Well,
I've got a segment for you.
Hmm.
You should have a segment where Soviet teaches you how to say the different names of maps and tanks and stuff.
We should do that, Soviet.
Soviet's Russian
hour.
hour.
sure.
Soviet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm on my
Prokhorovka.
way. I'll be there in 8 hours.
Sweet.
That's a
On
good
my
one.
bicycle.
I like it. And then I thought you'd be interesting. We'd thought about this idea before, but doing some kind of like map segment where you talk about the different ways people approach that map, and that could help some of the newer teams get in there and maybe understand it a little bit. And Rue's like, oh, I may be already doing that. Maybe. But I think that'd be good for newer people.
Mhm.
So
I like I think as a filler segments, guys can have always some just cutouts and whatnot of various shots or various random moments in the actual league games. You know how like they have the RNG show where they have like crazy stuff going on World of Tanks,
Mm.
similar filler stuff, just highlights and whatnot of various matches. That always that's easy to do because it's right there. You already have it. Just all you have to do is just cut it up and
We've
throw it
done a
up.
few
Yeah.
little highlights already.
Yeah,
Have you guys seen
yeah,
those? Yeah,
yeah.
some of those were
Like
pretty good, I
like
thought.
yeah, what you guys do in the post shows, right? In on Sundays, for example, right? You guys did it for the qualifiers, similar. But now, I mean, we're gonna have so much content going on. I don't know. Is Sunday still reserved for post shows, like week wrap ups?
Yeah, I think we're supposed to be doing a kind of post show. It could go away, but it's for now. I know it is staying because we've got so much stuff to talk about. And at the end of the week, you get to sum up absolutely everything. So
Yeah.
Sunday should still be here, and we'll be cutting up everything.
Oh, okay.
Reviewing the
Awesome.
whole week. So
Awesome.
hopefully it'll evolve into a really big show that we can have because there's so much that happens during the week. And I know if you miss a day or two of the Russian or EU league, you're like,
Hmm.
oh gosh, I missed everything. And then they
Yeah.
reference a match that happened, a few days back, and you're like, I didn't see that match. What happened? And how much bearing it has on that matchup right then, and how
Hmm.
much it evolved the scene or something. So hopefully we can have that so everyone can know everything about what's happening in Wargaming League North America.
Cool. Another question right after clutches here from Ambulance. Oh, I see what you did there. We have what region is stronger in 742, EU or NA? Don't come with any patriotic American answers. That is really hard to say because the only time that American and EU have faced each other was at WCG. Um, the
Did any
Europe,
of that happen Eurosteel?
no one cares about Eurosteel.
Okay. That's because
Yeah.
you don't go.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
true. That hurt. It burned a little.
That's
Sorry.
fine. That's
I
fine.
guess we did
It's
face
good
each
to
other.
be reminded.
I don't think that the problem with Eurosteel, at least from our perspective, is we didn't really get to see anything at Eurosteel for North America versus EU,
Little
because
coverage.
yeah, the streams weren't spectacular and everything I had to watch was in Russian and then it was off and on. Hopefully that won't be the problem this year. But the only thing we have like seen very well was WCG, and then that was just us playing some of the European teams. I think the Europeans have some strong teams. There was like the problem with WCG being it's all nation based and you don't always necessarily have a really good team from these specific nations. So with Russia getting the Navi team um, and Dignitas, I mean I think they're still probably a little bit above us just based on that. But really, we're gonna start seeing that when we have like the NVIDIA International Finals, when we start facing each other off a little bit more this year with some other tournaments. Um,
I honestly believe that the World of Tanks game is so great in fact that, any team can upset anybody, no matter who it is, in a big name or small, small matchup or a big matchup. There can be upsets in the game, and a lot of the games that were uh, well, now that the leagues are going across all the continents, I think all the teams are going to grow confident enough to believe in themselves, which will give them enough strength to beat anybody that they play. So it's and we saw it. I think a great showcase of what that means is Gratiam, upsetting kind of Rush, beating them,
mhm.
forcing them into loser bracket, and then of course New Star was not unable to finish them off and put them in the second place. But still, even teams like Rush, as you can see, can lose. They're not a super titan that everybody makes them out to be.
Mhm.
And as long as teams as long as teams realize this and believe in themselves, first of all, they'll be able to do great against anybody.
Yep.
The barrier of entry to the game, barrier of entry to any esport, really. I mean, the games are. This is the beauty of esports, and we've talked about it many times. Me and Relics on Tank Talk, Ruukil. I'm sure maybe you'll agree is that the barrier of entry to esports is quite low. You don't have to be 8 foot tall, benching a fire truck, and being able to throw a football across the state of New York. You can just get into the game, go in, and of course, World of Tanks is a free-to-play game, so you don't even need money well, you need hardware, I guess, but off you go, playing tanks and making a team, and
Hmm.
that's it. No,
Yeah. I'm
it's not that
You just look at the qualifier. I mean, look at how many guys signed up that I'd never seen ever in any tournament.
right.
Hmm.
All those guys, and some of them made it pretty decently far in. I mean, they didn't upset. I didn't think I saw any upsets on as far as teams that I expected to make it, but there were teams that made it decently far, and they weren't. They were obviously not as experienced as the veterans, but they still made it, and they were still
Hmm.
there. So it's not like you have to join some secret club. It's you can get in if you work hard. It's really just hard work, and you will succeed in World of Tanks.
Yep.
All right. Mad Max, you had another question. I did not get to play the new map on test. I'll probably try to do that sometime this week, and maybe we can talk about it next week. See how balanced. I keep hearing that it's extremely balanced, so I would like to see that. We have another question here from Antonio. Antonio Handsome, who is a member of Fulcrum Gaming. I'm asking about high alpha TDs are the new artillery and will be balanced in 8.8. Yes, no.
Yes.
You think so?
Maybe,
Yep.
maybe.
There's absolutely something has to happen though. I think the way things are in 8.6 right now, the game does feel a little bit broken in certain aspects. TDs being one of them,
Is it mostly
and
just the accuracy changes that you think is the big
the
effect?
accuracy and the camo system is needs a bit more tweaks before it can be really finalized. Because I think they broke some mechanics that used to be in the game, but some maps and some tanks depended on those mechanics to be useful. Now a lot of tanks are no longer useful. A lot of strategies are no longer useful. Passive scouting, for example, Rue was bringing it up earlier. That's a big part of the game, and now that is it works in certain cases, but a lot of places it's broken. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely an alteration to style. Either we're going to have to adapt, or Wargame is going to have to change some things, and that'll make it easier for those of us who've had such a jarring change
right,
to everything that we've had to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big change for some people like scouts.
Let's see. Coach, did you guys face Red Rush at WCG?
Yep.
Yes, we did. And we fell on our faces. It was a lot on us being inexperienced in those. Um, so hopefully, we're hoping that we can give them a good fight this year if we see them at NVIDIA or something else. Um, assuming we get that far. We're trying. We'll see
I
how
think
it
you
works
guys
out.
have it. I think you guys have a lot of what it takes to get there. I mean, I'm watching all of the streams as much as I can right now, just to try and get a good feel for everyone. I'm even watching the Koreans, and I'm thinking the top US teams, the top EU teams, the top Russian teams are all at a point where if we made them fight and we gave them enough prep time and gave them an even ground to play on, they could all put up a good fight. I mean, you guys could do it. Take Simp there too, and probably I'd say wreak havoc. Yeah, I'd say wreak havoc. The three of you guys could probably put up a good fight to towards the Russians and the EU guys. So
I hope so.
yeah,
I hope so.
Well, especially now that WGLNA is going to start up, and a lot of these teams are going to get a lot more repetitions into it.
Hmm.
Get more acquainted with the 742 format. Who knows? We'll see. Nerve. You guys were talking about Nerve the other day. I mean, I know they're new on the block, but give them a chance, and maybe they'll pull out some upsets here.
yeah. I expect them to do well. Historically, G teams haven't been on top, but I don't want to say this team every team's going to be amazing because there will be teams that fall short. But I want someone to surprise me, kind of. I really do. I want to see people like Nerve or maybe let's see who would I want? I want to see maybe River of Blood pull something out that's interesting. I mean, there's teams like that you don't know what they're truly capable of because they don't have that reputation like you guys do. We know what Fulcrum's capable of. We know you guys are good at scouting. You guys have a good arty player sometimes, and I know, and you guys are good in a brawl and stuff. You have everything that you need to be a good team. I just don't know about a lot of other teams. You see good players, you don't know if they're going to be a good team though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it'll be interesting to see how everything evolves over time here.
And As a reminder to everybody who's watching, the league is going to start off on Thursday, July 11th, and 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern is when all the action will start. And I think we are actually Fulcrum Gaming versus Turtle Police is the first match for that date. So
Oh yeah,
please come and watch us, and we'll be there
game on.
putting on a show.
Let me see. We'll take
Ruukil,
Oh,
Ruukil, remember what I
Mm.
told you about Relics. Talk
Ah.
bad about him.
Yes, I will. I will bad talk him.
there is nothing
To
bad
Victor.
you can ever say about me.
You're bald.
How is that bad? This is good stuff right
Shiny.
here. I just shine the way ahead of us,
Yeah.
lead us to victory.
That's scouting.
I will show them where I am. That's good scouting.
All right, I'll grab one more question. We'll go ahead and cut it off there. We'll actually grab this question from Ambulance, which is why aren't top teams picking up North American WOT teams, even though North America is such an attractive market for sponsors? What do you guys think about that?
I, th- I let me start, Ruukil. You'll continue because I think my answer will lead into you in a second. I think we have not seen any stability on the North American market of World of Tanks. We have seen some sparks of light here and there. WCG, I think that was a quite successful. Comic Con was awesome. That whole place was awesome. Then we saw South by Southwest, and then once again nothing for a long time. And now finally we have, well, hopefully with something that will stick around and will be consistent on the North American market. Once teams that are serious about esports realize it, I think they'll start paying more attention, and taking the World of Tanks game more seriously. Because definitely the Wargaming is putting on a great show, investing a lot of money into this, and it's only going to keep growing if they keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you definitely got it right. You're gonna lead right into me. Yeah, you guys have to be consistent. You have to prove yourselves capable. Teams like Rush, that just got signed by Navi, a huge team, are gonna be they're huge and they're consistent, and that's why they got signed. When it happens in America, when Fulcrum or Simp as top teams, we're always gonna throw these you two out because you're the top teams on the United States right now. So you guys are gonna get that all the time. So you're gonna get a sponsorship when you guys show to the sponsors that your market is awesome enough and that you're ready as a team. Because if you guys aren't gonna continue to be awesome after a sponsorship, and you're not worth it, I mean, who's going to sponsor you if you're going to fall apart, or there's going to be so much drama, or other things like that? It's just, if you guys can't do it, then they won't come, and if you prove you can, they're going to be all over you, and probably.
Cool. All right, let's go ahead and end it with that question. So we very much look forward to the future of Wargaming League North America. Thank you, Rue, very much for joining us today. I'm sure we will have you on as much as we can. I'm sure you'd like to be on again, right?
It would be my pleasure to come back. So you can have me just about any time.
All right. So, well,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Very nice.
Thanks again,
Very nice.
Soviet, for joining us. I guess he's amazing. Occasionally,
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing coming out of Relics?
I said occasionally.
Okay.
I don't know if that counts as like a total compliment or not, but yeah. All right. Thanks to you both for being here. Thanks everybody for joining us. This has been episode 13, and we'll catch you guys next week. Have a good one.
See ya.
Bye.
Пока.